Pat, I have been looking forward to this for months, talking to you live on the record about Intel's plans. You laid them out yesterday, quite a presentation. Wall Street, investors rightly skeptical. We see the stock, doing some head fakes here. Two main ideas that you addressed that I want to start off with. This foundry push, Intel making chips to the customer's recipe, not necessarily Intel's, $100 billion total addressable market, you say, in 4 years, and system on a package, which maybe addresses some of these process technology issues. Let's start with the foundry push. Talk to me about costs and how you get there to this opportunity, because for a new business like this that you're standing up, separating it out, that might help it happen like it hasn't in the past, but the costs arrive before the revenue and profitability, right?
Well, first, John, let me just say, great to be with you, Julia, Deandra. Fabulous to be back on the show, and always a pleasure to be chatting with you all and have the opportunity to speak to the Squawk audience. With respect to our IDM 2.0 strategy that we laid out, what we saw was in Grovian terms, and I like to reference my mentor and longtime influence, Andy Grove. We were at an inflection point, and we really had to make a decision with regard to being that foundry, for ourselves, but also for the industry. And I'll say there's a handful of things that have changed in the current environment. One is it's a different market. As we said, $100 billion foundry market by 2025. And there really are very few companies that can step into that with leading process technology. There's also extraordinary interest on the part of U.S. and European countries and governments for a more balanced supply chain. And again, we're one of the few companies that can step into that. We've also come at this and said, we're going to do it the right way. And we've had some steps in the past where we, as I'd say, didn't take them as seriously as we needed to. We are now serious about being a major foundry supplier for the industry, a separate business unit, separate P&L, separate capacity that we're putting in place to satisfy those. We're also bringing the best of Intel, leading process, our unquestioned leadership in packaging, our 3D packaging technique, and making all of our intellectual property available, including our x86 cores for those foundry customers, and taking together. This is a powerful statement of our seriousness in this market, and the customer response and industry response to yesterday's announcement, very profound. Some 20 plus major companies that says, yes, we're interested in this capability.
Yeah, a lot of people might not quite get how much of a not invented here mindset, at least people think of Intel as having. So the idea of you making x86 cores available in foundry, the idea of you taking your most recent designs and having them manufactured by others in the near term seems very different. But back to this total addressable market in 2025. By 2025, will Intel have scaled the foundry business to the point where it can compete head-to-head with TSMC or anybody else, for that matter, for the most lucrative deals?
Simple answer is absolutely. We are putting fabs in the ground. That was part of the announcement yesterday with our 2 new Arizona fabs that we're putting in place. We're also announcing that we'll expect our next sites in the U.S. and in Europe to be announced within the next year. So we're definitely leaning into this with the capital investments required. We're also open for business today. We already do a bit of foundry business, and that's accelerating immediately. We're also engaging with these customers, these big potentials. I had emails with several of them already this morning of their interest and the next steps that we're going to take with them. And to be delivering foundry capabilities in 24, 25, you have to back up and you say, oh, I need to be doing those designs starting pretty soon, because it's a couple of years till the designs are done, the first test wafers come out, et cetera. So, yeah, we're going to start in this journey. But we also announced as part of IDM 2.0, we're going to be working with TSMC and Global Foundries and Samsung and leveraging them as we really have a co-opetition model with the industry. And we see it really is a need for semiconductors is a rising tide in the industry. And we're one of the few that can step into that. But we're also excited that TSMC and Samsung and Global Foundries and UMC are stepping up as well, because the world needs more semiconductors.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.